Welcome to Infra Support Videos. This is Harshad Agrawal and I am here to discuss about create and assign entity roles. The agenda of this video is to discuss what is the need of entity roles and how to create and assign the entity access roles. So what is the need of the entity roles? Whenever a data archive user does not have access permissions on an entity that is archived into the IDV, then entity will not be visible during the data discovery operations like browse data, search data vault, manage retention on the archive folder. To make the entity visible during data discovery operation, it would be required to create access role for that entity and assign that access role to the data archive user. This process involves basically three steps: create user-defined access roles, assign entity to the access role, and assign the access role to the data archive user. We will go through each step one by one. First is create user-defined access roles. So few steps are needed in ILM Web UI to create the user-defined role. First we need to log into the Web UI. Then we need to click on the administration and manage roles. There we can see that the existing roles will be listed and there will be one more button for the new access role. We can click on that and create the new one. This window will appear, like we can give the role name whatever we want to give. We can give the description of our role name. We can give the date from which it will valid, and we can, if there is one optional parameter, valid until. That validity will be lost after that. The next step is associate access role to entity. In this step we have already created the access role. Now we are going to associate this access role to entity. In order to do this, we need to follow these steps, like we need to click on administration manage roles. Then there will be one more button, assign access role to entity. Once we will click on that, it will ask us to select the application version, application module, as well as the entity name. This will be the UI once we will click on the assign access role to entity. So once we will select the entity, if that entity will part of any other role, it will be listed here. We can delete that role. We can add one entity to more than one role. That it is all based on the requirement. Now we have passed our two steps. Now the third step is we need to assign the access role to the data archive user. Once the access role has been created and the entity has been associated to the access role, we can give that access role to the data archive user. What we need to do, we need to click on the administration and go to the manage users. There we need to click on the edit user and click on the add role and provide that custom role that we have created. Once we are done with all these three steps, the data archive user to which we have given this custom role, that user will be able to do the data discovery operations on that entity. So we will see these things in a demo itself. So this is our ILM Web UI. Once we will log into the ILM Web UI, very first step we will go to the administration and manage roles. Here all the roles is listed, whatever are present. We can create our new access role here by clicking on that. Role name, suppose we are giving that test user role. Description, test am admin role, test am admin, valid from, that is 11th Feb, until we can also leave it blank. Once you click on that, it will create that. So this is the test user role we have created now. Now we will associate entity to these access roles. What we need to do, click on assign access role to entity. Now which entity we want to associate, we need to map that. Like we are going to select one product family version, then schema name, then the entity name. Suppose we are selecting this DD test entity. So if this entity is part of any other role, it will be listed here, but here it is not part of any other role, so nothing is there. We can click on add role, we can browse the role, and now we created this role. We click on select and save. Now we are done with two steps. We have created our role and we have assigned the entity to the access role. Now the final step is we need to we need to provide that role to the user. We need to go to the users, to which user we want to provide role. Suppose AM admin. Click on AM admin, go add role, This one is the test admin role that we want to give. Click on save. These are the 3 steps that is required to enable the user to do the data discovery operation on the selected entity. Okay. So for any kind of feedback, we would love to hear from you. You can share your feedback at the given links. Thank you.